Hello, this is Chuck, and we're going to continue on our series of influence. Let's go back to say that leadership is nothing more, nothing less than influence. So we started talking about John Maxwell, and we started talking about how he suggests that you can create more influence. And the reason for this is because the more influence that you can gather, the more people you can lead. So how do we get more influence? And we went through a series of ways. We actually went through 3 detailed ways of how to get more influence. And there's many more to come. And I want you to understand this subject because I said in the letter that I wrote that there were more tidbits in that one simple little letter than anything I've shared with you so far to date. Well, I really believe that about this subject because we're getting to the meat and potatoes of you developing your own style and understanding that we are leaders. And we've said many times, leadership is not about a title. It's about our ability within any situation to recognize and our own instincts take over, and leadership just happens as of all the things that are ingrained in us that we've learned up to this date in our life, right? So I want to give you 2 personal stories of influence that I had on my life. I asked you to share some people that influenced you and how that affected you, and I thought it would be good for you to hear my perspective of what that really means to me. And I'm going to go all the way back, so I could really name a lot of people that have influenced me over the years. But I'm going to give credit all the way back to when I was 8 years old. You know, I had a coach, his name was Joe DeBlasi, and Joe was very instrumental in my life at that time. I went on to play in baseball in our Little League system, a team called the White Sox, And the White Sox were a very good team. They were very good before I ever arrived. I wanted to be a White Sox. In our system, you could be a bat boy for that team, and then you were automatically on that team the next year. They didn't have to draft you if you were the bat boy. It was one way of kind of like recruiting a player. I think that's the way I remember it anyway. But Joe DeBlasi was the coach. And he was a very good coach, and he had very good players around him. And I'm only an 8-year watching him practice every day and the other players practice. And I really enjoyed being part of that. But I felt a little bit about, because I was part of that and I'm only 8, that I'm a cool guy and maybe a little bigger than my britches should be at that time. I just want to give you a little posturing. So I'm at the basketball court when I'm 8, and all the men and older guys are playing basketball, 5-on-5 basketball, and the game had ended, and now they're just shooting around, and I jump in and I can shoot around with these older guys because I'm cool, and I see myself that way. And there was a little girl, probably my age, who came over to shoot baskets as well, and I said to her, you shouldn't be over here. You should go up to that court. This is where the older players play. And she goes, well, you're that age. And Joe DeBlasi pulled me to the side. One of my greatest lessons in life at 8 years old. He said, Happy, it doesn't cost anything to be nice to people. That wasn't very nice. Such a simple, subtle message that at age 60, it's still in my head. I try to live it every day with people that I'm around. And I tell people all the time, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. So Joe DeBlasi, thank you for that message. Is that I've always been an advocate for anybody that appears to be an underdog. I can't stand bullying. And I try to teach all the kids that I've coached that they should be look out for people who are really having a rough time, or maybe just, don't fit in with what everybody sees as the successful people or the star athletes of, say, middle school or high school. And I know that the foundation of that thought within me came from Joe DeBlasi and that statement on that basketball court when I was 8. The second person is a gentleman by the name of Timmy Goodrich. He was my Little League coach, in that when I became 9, Timmy Goodrich became the new coach of the White Sox. And Timmy was a unique dude, man. He was only, I'm 9 years old, he was only about 17 or 18, and he's coaching a Little League team. And here's what Timmy did. He instilled work ethic. We were just Little League kids, but he took it really serious. He wanted to win, and we didn't know what to think of at the time. The team was already good, but Timmy would have these practices on a Saturday that would be like 6 hours long. Sometimes there'd be practices that would just be by your position. I was a catcher, and he would bring down a gentleman by the name of Yogi, that was his nickname, who was a previous catcher, maybe high school or college, I'm not sure, but he would come down and work with me for an hour at a time in this what appeared to be 85, 90 degree heat and just be bullying, but we're working blocking balls, how to pick up a ball, how to throw a ball. And you think this is a sports lesson. No, it was a lesson in that to get to where you need to be, where you want to be, you have to work hard. And the idea is that I knew that I was doing right at that point in time what other people in my baseball organization were not doing, and especially what other catchers weren't doing. And that was the foundation that later I played high school baseball and did very well, and played college baseball and did very well. But I know, looking back, that that was the foundation for work ethic. That coach, Timmy Goodrich, led me to understand that you had to work hard to get ahead. And I've always had a great work ethic, and I know where it came from. So Timmy really influenced me. That same gentleman invited me to a basketball camp at Cardinal Gibbons High School when I was in the 8th grade, and actually took me to the camp every day after I said I would go. And as a result of that, I got a scholarship to that high school. That was his influence. And then when I was 15, there was a team called the Yankee Rebels in baseball that he asked me would I consider playing for them. And I said, tell me more about them. It was like an all-star team from all over the state. It turned out to be the greatest experience. Traveled all over the East Coast playing baseball when I was 15 and 16, even playing the World Series. But that all happened because of Timmy Goodrich. That's influence. He cared enough about me that how lucky I was that somebody took an interest in me like that, and it led me to all these experiences that became the foundation, just going to Cardinal Gibbons High School, the foundation of some discipline, understanding, more about the Christian faith, the Catholic faith at that time, understanding the Bible. There were so many things that came all because of a person that had influence on me. So yeah, that's my story, sharing with you that influence is significant, And the third person I want to recognize is when I went to that 15-16 baseball team, the Palmer brothers, two men who were dedicated to coaching high-level baseball players. These kids came from all over the state, and everybody at that time knew who the Yankee Rebels were. But I learned there that just because you have an assemblage of talent, get this message for leadership, you can have the best players at every position, that doesn't make you good. It's the synchronage of those people. It's the continuity of those people. It's the ability to get along with those people. It's the adaptability of those people. Things don't always go well. You're not always playing your best. And the other players around you have to recognize, hey, today's not John's best day. He's having a bad day. Let's pick him up. Or, hey, today we have to really hustle because it's a hot day. We've already played a game. Don't let ourselves drag. Just because you're good doesn't make you great. You still got to put in the work. And you got to have the attitude and the temperament. And you have to have some conviction to what you're doing. And when all that comes together by a team or by a group, that's when amazing things will happen. And I learned that through the Palmer brothers. So by 16 years of age, I had 3 people, and there were many more, that clearly I can remember their influence on me today at age 60. That how I lead people, try to lead people, but a lot of the things that I believe in came from those folks. What a strong foundation. And I really appreciate your stories and your strong foundation. So until the next time, this is Chuck, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.